Well, hey everybody, it's JJamJim. Welcome back to another episode of Vanilla Valley here in City Skylines, our tutorial Let's Play series. So, we're looking at our beautiful new area that is just hustle and bustle of buses. And I let the simulation run a little bit before recording this episode because I wanted to make sure that all the buses were able to get sort of like a full cycle and get a little bit of a run through on their first attempts before we take a look at kind of how it's operating. Doesn't seem to be really helping this traffic here just yet, but yeah, it's tricky. I mean, some of the buses are using this roundabout, which, you know, is causing issues. I think honestly, part of the issue is, well, there's a lot of issues, right? It keeps funneling back. So as these people keep funneling, you know, as these guys all try to go into this right lane, it starts to back up, right? So now it's stopped. It's completely stopped because people are trying to use this lane, and what they're trying to do is get out of the bus lane to then go back in the bus lane to turn, which is interesting in and of itself and causes some issues. It's good that they're getting out of the bus lane for the buses, but I would prefer, essentially no one is using this lane from this whole strip right here, and that's just not good. I mean, you don't want people merging over, so there might be some things we can do with that. But before we take a look at some road stuff, let's do something this episode that I want to do that also has more to do with public transit. And that is using this canal for actually what we built this canal for. And that is to harbor some ferries that are coming through, which I'm very excited about. So let's get started with that. And then we'll check out the bus lanes after that. So, ferries. Ferries are under the ship. First thing you need is a ferry depot. Now, this is much like a bus depot, right? This building is literally just to spit out new ferries, right? So we will add. Let's see, I was thinking we could put it over here. Now, I have a feeling something is that we're gonna run into. Yeah, I knew it was gonna not play well with this terrain. So instead, let's grab our terraform tool here. Let's grab about that height, and let's landscape this a bit. Oh, we have too much soil, so let's come over here and just put some of the soil back and make this a bigger thing so we can just get rid of it faster. There we go. And we're just going to push that back just a little bit. And then we are going to slope, because what I think we're going to do is connect it right here. So let's slope from about here to about here. Just get a nice gentle slope going up there. Perfect. Just make this wide enough for a road. Flatten it out a little bit. Okay, well now let's see how that works. Great. See? Now it's about almost perfect height. Fabulous. So now let's grab our road. And let's just swing it up. Like that and like that. And now our people have a way to drive down to the ferry depot, even though realistically people aren't going. Really, the only people that need this road access is people who are working here. So it needs power. I think for that, let's just do this trick. And I think we'll probably need about 2. There we go. Power's now jumped to there. There we go. Excellent. Great. So now we have our ferry depot, but we're not quite finished. So once you build the ferry depot, and then you need to start building ferry stops, right? But before you really build ferry stops, see how we have our ferry access lane? Like, this is showing where the ferries will go in the canal here. We do need to connect directly a ferry line. Not necessarily a ferry line. It's the ferry pathway is really what I should be using. The ferry pathway to get from the ferry depot to where the ferries will start their line. And we're gonna connect that up. So this is purely just for telling, you know, the game is basically, we're telling the ferries that, okay, this is the path you take to get to your route. This won't actually be any part of the ferry line per se, but it will be helpful for the pathway. Now, we need to put down ferry stops, right? Just like bus stops. And this might prove to be a bit tricky on this road. We'll do our best. So, I think I'd like it on this road, which means we're gonna have to move the monorail. But let's just, you know, I know we spent a lot of time with this, but you know what? We're gonna be able to make it work again. We are gonna be able to make it work again. So let's just pop it on. What I don't know is how we're gonna connect it to the road. Well, let's just see how this works. Let's just see how this works. Does this go straight in? Oh, man. I wonder... I just wonder... Oh, baby. Well, I couldn't have planned that better. That's awesome. I don't really like how this looks, though, so let's just use our terraform tool to sort of soften around this so it doesn't look as dramatic. And then maybe we can just, I don't know, we'll just end that at some point. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work yet, but just so it doesn't look, yeah, great. Okay, so we have one ferry stop, so this can service sort of the stadium. People can walk across from the pathways and different things, so we can do that. There's also other ferry stops. There's also a ferry pier that essentially, wow, a lot of words there, that essentially has two ferry stops. I believe it also has, okay, I thought it had like a bus thing hooked into it. No, it doesn't. It's just, but it just operates for two ferries. So instead of having, just offers more traffic to come through it, essentially. The next stop, we can do it right here. Oh, you know, I wonder if I could do the same. Can I go? I'm close, but I bet I could get this to go directly straight. Close. I'm very close. We'll call that good. It's not perfect, but it's certainly close enough. And then we'll do we're gonna wreck these businesses, but we'll have a through lane here for people to get to. And for the people on this side, is this just gonna be relying on the paths, right? The pathways will carry them across. I mean, we could even, let's see, could give them a direct, what if I turn this off? There. Give them a direct route right to the ferry. Cool. Okay, so that's two. Now I figure probably just one at the end here, and I would imagine right here would be good. Here's what I think we're gonna do. Because this is concrete. And I don't want to make another intersection here if I don't have to. So let's, well, maybe decorate that with some rock or something, and then this will connect to here. Easy peasy. And then we'll have to fix that. But that's no big deal. Boom. Because this intersection isn't too bad. A three-way, it's going to be just fine. And then what we can do for right here is it sort of looks like the concrete just moves out into the Grand Central Station here. And I don't know if people can actually walk this. Perhaps. Perhaps. But what we can do for this, just, you know, we'll just play with this for just a minute here, is add in some rocks. And just a little bit of shrubbery. There, and then it sort of just feels like more of an ending. We're sort of trying to hide the fact that we have, you know, a dead-end road there. But I think that feels quite integrated. Cool. So then, and there's a path there. You know, we're close-ish to the... Just thinking, what if... Could we do... It's not long enough. I want that to go straight. Whoop. It's not... Well, there we go. And then we guarantee that we have some sort of a path in there. Can I get a tree right there? I can. Guarantees we have a path. I could have done one right here, but I kind of like it going around the Grand Central Terminal like that. Kind of nice. Great. And then people can walk directly to the transit hub if they need to. I don't know how many people are actually going to be using these ferries. It might not be that useful in public transportation, but I think it will look really good and it actually gives some life to the canal, which doesn't really have any life right now. So we have that all set up. Let's put in our ferry lines. So I'm going to start from here. And we'll... Oh, there we go. Add stop. Add stop. And... There's no turnaround for them, is there? Oh, they're going to turn around right there. Actually, just had a thought. That could be kind of cool and give us more of a circle purpose to this. Okay, so what if, here, bear with me for a second here. What if we put down some ferry routes on this side and even one over here to bring people to the airport. And we can extend this height. Thoughts. The thought bubbles are going off inside of my brain. Is it a good thought bubble? I don't know, but we'll find out. A little bit bigger, actually. There. Just move things along quicker. I'm actually going to bring this... Now, I wonder... Can I sneak under there? We shall find out. Because that could be very cool. So what I'm thinking is, so we have, you know, a stop, 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 stop. Then they circle the island. Okay. Perhaps stop a couple times on this side. But or maybe make a detour to this side, then head back over to here. Then they just loop back. And then somehow we either have the river road along here, or we bring a road through to connect up to, like, here. It's a little crazy, but we'd have to tunnel. We'd certainly have to tunnel, because... What the heck? Let's just try it. Let's just try it and see what happens. So I'm going to go tunnel right to here, as far out as I can. To there. It's a pretty flat looking tunnel too, which is nice. It's very good. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a bike lane road. Okay, first, no, before I do that, let's pop down the ferry stop. Let's go like that. I'm gonna grab the bike road. And then we can just... Pick that up, and then I will make this bike. Okay, okay. I'm starting to like this. I don't know where this goes just yet, but out of just curiosity. And indeed I can. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So, the plans have expanded a bit, but that is the beauty of city building. Exploratory building, as I like to call it. Trademark. No, I'm kidding. I'm not the first person to say that, I'm sure. But I think it's quite apt, actually, when it comes to building cities and working on stuff, is, you know, I think what happens is you tend to think, well, that's going to be dumb, I'm not going to try it. But this game is all about trying things. It just is. And if you don't like it, you get rid of it, you change it. But you have to try it. Because if you don't try it, you'll never know. And it's actually a really, really great life lesson as well, to be honest. You know, it's a great life lesson, because I've started a small business before, worked a small business for 7 years, and sometimes you just gotta dive in and try things, because otherwise you won't know. And I'm working a small business right now. Making content for you guys is my small business, right? So I have to try things too. You have to take risks. You have to make attempts at things. It's the same with life. You know? Alright, I'm gonna step off my soapbox now and just work on city building. Okay, so if I put one there... I don't know how many people are gonna use this, but you know, it doesn't matter. It might look cool, which is really... more important. And then I'm gonna put another one, I think, right like here. Although there are these rocks right here, which could prove to be a bit hairy. Now, can I just get rid of that? Can I go like this? Just slope up. This, move this. Slope down again. Great. Great. And that. Let's connect these up. Now, I'm going to make these. grab the path. It's gonna be okay. Then they can walk through there. This can just go straight through. That's okay. And we can just reconnect these up. Beautiful. And then this can just go... Nope, this goes to there. I'm going to go a little rogue here so I can just get a nice... There we are. But nope. Because I need to actually connect the road first. Wunderbar. Okay.
Old music. Old.
There. It's a bit strange, but you know, once we add some rocks and some detail and things, that should look pretty cool. Okay. So, now, let's draw some ferry line paths. So, the ferry will come off of here and just connect up to there. Then, it'll go like this. Then, it'll go through the... Okay. And then we have to navigate around the rocks. And then, can we get like a... There, it'll loop back up. A strange, interesting line, but I think, because then it'll be just a constant loop, and then we won't have the ferries sort of turning around in a strange fashion. You know, just in the middle of the water like that. Okay, so let's... I'm gonna get rid of that line. I'm gonna start over. Stop. Stop. Add a stop. Add a stop. And then complete the line. And then I'm also going to go... Can I go... Oh. Can I create new line? Oh, it only goes one way down the canal. That's fine. That is okay. I wonder if that has something to do with the canals or the fact that there's just, I don't know, stops on one side. Anyway, let's run the simulation and see. So there's a bunch of ferries are going to get kicked out. You see there are ferry buoys here that show where your pathways are, which can be helpful. So it's going to kick out probably... It's going to kick out 4 ferries. That's probably going to be perfect, actually. And they're going to take a hard right turn here. I suppose I could give them... well, they're only going to do that. They're only going to do that hard turn once. Because they're just coming from their place. But, now again, I don't know how many people are going to use this. But... we shall see. This needs power. Which is fair, and I think just for now, we'll just do that to connect it. Because what we could do is expand this out a little bit more and have some commercial potentially along the road here. You know? There are people who are looking to use it, though. Yeah, we might get people using this to get to the airport. It's possible. I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully this intersection doesn't cause too many problems. But we'll let that run for a bit. So before we do that, let's take a look at our bus situation. A lot of people are using buses. Tons. Let's take a look at our lines and see how they're operating. So we'll go with this one because it seems like there's the most passengers on it. So we have 18 vehicles in this line. Yowzers. Still 200 plus people there, 100 plus people there. Oh boy, 500 people here. Yikes. See, the tricky part about buses, and buses are really, really cool. And there certainly is, and I've said this before, there's probably a proper way to implement them, but they can be very tricky. And the difficult thing about them is they do take cars off the road, right? There are 30 less people per bus driving, which is great. However, there are still 18 buses that take up, 2 or 3 sizes of what a car is. Now they have pullover places where there's stops, and they only hold 30 people. So you need quite a few, especially when you have like a bus stop like this. Like where is this? We have that many people waiting. My goodness. So, we could add more buses to the line, of course. It's just there's added complications with buses being on the road. But they're fun to try and implement, though. They really are. It's just there's sometimes where you kind of have to look at. It almost takes building a bus line to look at why are there so many people at this bus stop, right? So let's examine this. There are like 480 people at this bus stop. Now, why? Well, it could be that I don't know. It could be that there's a bunch of population that live right here that work in an area where the bus takes them. It could be that we just had a match. I'm not sure. What is it? 7, 12, 20, 50. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to kind of gauge it, though. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's more apparent. I mean, there's a large attraction here. There's a park right here, one of our only parks in the city. A lot of residents live right here. There's also the possibility that people are coming across here and then stopping and waiting at this bus stop from this area. I don't know. Although we do have the bus that goes all the way out here. I'm not sure that there's a lot of people out here using it. There's no one at this bus stop. None. Well, I mean, there's a couple people that gather, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. So, what we could do is... The challenging part about this is that we could add a metro stop. We could add another form of transportation, maybe. I don't know. I don't know exactly why all these people are using it. So they're going to Lizzie's karaoke place. See, now, this person is going to use the bus. Oh, Ashton. That's my wife's name. This person is going to take the bus when they could just walk. Now, I'm not sure why they're not choosing to walk. It doesn't seem like it's that far of a distance, to be honest. But again, these are some quirks and things, but it's worth... I think part of the joy of this game is looking at some of the stuff and how to solve it, right? The traffic simulation is not perfect. It isn't. There are some quirks to it and some bumps, but at the same time, you can take the challenge of how do I figure out how to manipulate the traffic to do what I want them to do. And that's kind of part of the game, right? Now, there's a realistic approach where you want all your traffic to operate realistically, but also at the same time, people are kind of stupid. So, people do dumb things in traffic. Now, all these people shouldn't be doing dumb things, but a few people will, running red lights, running stop signs, changing lanes when they don't need to change lanes, different things like that back up traffic. Now, this is a persistent issue, and I'm sure there is a solve to it. It's possible that we don't want to have a bus stop here. That could potentially solve some of these problems, but it seems like a lot of these people are trying to turn right. So we could offer another, off-ramp that just extends... Well, heck, I don't know. This might not solve the problem, but what if we did this? What if we did that and gave people another option to enter the city? And we just put this back. I don't know if that's actually going to help anything, but it might. It certainly might. Because it seems like so many people are turning right, which means they're trying to get over here, which means that they may want to take this avenue instead, which might help traffic in here. It's not going to help the merging issues inside of the roundabout. That's going to persist. But as long as you see, as long as we don't get back up on the highway, that's kind of what you want. Yeah, see, all this backup is just bad. It's just very, very bad. And they're trying to like merge, you know, stupidly into the left lane, and yeah, and then we have these issues. It's a never-ending problem, but that's part of the fun of the game. That is part of the fun of the game. Okay, let's take a look at these lines and see if anybody is using it. We got a little bit of passengers. I think as we go forward, we will start to see more and more people using this. But now our canals are being used in a way that we like to see. You know, ferries actually using them. So, everybody, that is going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next episode of Skylines. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.